Journey to the West, an audio drama series. Chapter 28, Part 2. The elder sat alone in the forest and became increasingly bored and tired. He had no choice but force his spirits up. He tried everything from jumping up, rearranging the luggage, tying the horse to a tree, taking off his hat, to pinning his staff on the ground and tidying his dark robe. He then slowly made his way through the mysterious forest in an attempt to relieve his boredom. Laying his eyes on endless patches of wild grass and mountain flowers, he found it difficult to listen to the chirping birds returning to their nests. Inside the forest was thick vegetation and narrow roads. It was only because he was disturbed in his mind that he made the wrong turn. On one hand, he needed to ease the boredom, and on the other hand, he was searching for Bajie and Shamuk. But while the other two made their way straight westward, the elder unexpectedly turned south. Having made his way out of the pine forest, he suddenly looked up to find a place beaming with golden light and puffs of rainbow mist. When he looked more carefully, he saw there was a bejeweled pagoda from which light gleamed off the golden roof. It was the setting sun in the west reflecting off the golden roof that gave such bright colors. Sanzang exclaimed, "How very unfortunate my disciples are! Ever since I left the land of the East, I have vowed to burn incense whenever there is a temple. I promise to pray to Buddha whenever he is there, and sweep a pagoda whenever there is one. Isn't that glowing place a golden bejeweled pagoda? How is it that we never find our way here? There must be a temple under the pagoda, and in the temple there must be monks. Let me head over there. As for the luggage and horse, nobody walks past this area, so I assume they will be just fine. If that place is convenient for us, I shall wait for my disciples to join me so we can all ask for lodging here." Alas, that was when the elder's misfortune began. Look at him, walking in wide strides all the way to the outside of the pagoda. What he saw were enormous rocky cliffs and towering mountains. Trees and vines spread over a long distance. Some fell into deep streams, while others withered and hung on barren peaks. From afar it seemed like a paradise on the islands, and up close it did resemble divine realms from legends. Beasts came and went outside the caves as birds flew in and out through the forest. This was clearly a place of evil, yet the elder was unfortunate enough to barge in. The elder made his step forward and came to the door of the pagoda. What he saw were curtains made from spotted bamboo hanging inside. Moving through the door, he lifted the curtain and entered the place. Suddenly looking up, he saw that on a stone bed was a monster sleeping on his side. And what did he look like? Bluish face and white fangs, he had an enormous mouth. Messy manes lined his cheeks, all dyed the color of rouge. Purple stubs of beard like those protruding texture on the lychee skin, a pointy nose he had, shaped like the beak of a parrot. Those glowing eyes of his resembled bright stars, fists big as bowls and feet rough as tree barks. A light yellow robe slanting on his body, more exquisite than a brocade gashaya, a broad sword in his hand, decorated and shiny. The stone he slept on, smooth and flawless. He could make his imps create formations like ants. He could sit there and be worshipped like the queen bee. Mighty and adored, he was one to enjoy both wine and tea. With immense powers, he could travel the world in a blink. Although this cave is too small to be called hell, it certainly was home to one frightening beast. The elder saw his appearances and was so scared he stepped backwards. Numb and soft all over, his legs became stiff as he hastily tried to make his exit. He had only just turned around when the monster, with his divine nature truly strong, opened wide his golden pupils and ghostly eyes, calling, "Little ones, go see who that is outside the door." One imp poked his head outside to have a look and saw it was a bald elder. They quickly ran inside to report. "Great King is a monk outside. He's got a round head and white face with his ears dripping down his shoulders. A body of tender meat and fine skin, that is. Quite a nice monk there." The monster heard this and laughed out loud, saying, "This is what we call a fly landing on the head of a snake. It's food and clothing that came all on their own. All of you little ones, hurry and catch up to him. Bring him back for me, and there will be lots of rewards." Like bees, those imps swarmed forward. Sanzang saw them coming, despite the fact that his mind focused like an arrow and his feet were moving as if they wanted to fly off. His nerves were so overwhelmed that his legs gave out. Moreover, the mountain roads were rugged, and the sun was setting upon the thick forest. How was he able to move at all? And so the imps simply picked him up and carried him away. It really was a case of a dragon who hit shallow water is teased by shrimps. A tiger who came to flatland falls victim of a dog's bullying. Even when good deeds are often caught in struggles, who else had it like when the Tang monk headed west? Look at those imps carrying the elder before placing him outside the bamboo curtains. Overjoyed, they reported, "Great King, we brought the monk inside." The old monster took a peek and saw Sanzang with his head held high and refined features. A fine monk indeed. So he thought to himself, a fine monk like this must be someone coming from a superior land and not to be treated lightly. If I don't show him who is in charge here, how can he willingly submit to me? And so all of a sudden he put up his mighty aura. Bristling up his red beard and bloody hair, he split open his eyes before roaring, "Bring the monk in!" The imps loudly answered together, "Here we come!" And so they simply gave Sanzang a push inside. It really was a case of, when standing under short eaves, who would dare not lower their head? All Sanzang could do was fold his hands and pay respect to the monster. The monster asked, "Who are you, monk? Where do you come from? Where will you be going? Tell us right now." Sanzang answered, "I am originally a monk from Tang Dynasty. By the imperial order of the Emperor of Great Tang, I am heading to the west to seek scriptures. I happened to pass through your precious mountain, so I came specifically to the pagoda in order to pay respect to the divine. I did not expect to disturb you, mighty one. I beg that you forgive my sins. Once I have obtained scriptures from the west and returned to the land of the east, I will forever record your noble name." The monster heard his words and burst into laughter. "I knew you are someone from the superior lands. It really is you. I was thinking about eating you, and here you are, to my delight. To my utmost delight. Otherwise, I might have let you slip away. You are destined to be food in my mouth, and that's why you have barged in here. Even if I let you go, you wouldn't be able to get away. Even if you want to escape, you wouldn't be able to find your way out." He then told the imps, "Take the monk away and tie him up." The imps indeed rushed forward together and had the elder bound with ropes before tying him up to the soul-settling pillar. Broadsword in hand, the old monster again asked, "How many of you are there in total, monk? It couldn't be that you dared head west all by yourself." Sanzang saw him holding a broadsword, so he confessed in honesty. "Great King, I have 2 disciples named Zhu Bajie and Sha Monk. They both went begging for vegetarian food out in the pine forest. There is still a bundle of luggage, as well as a white horse, lying in the pine forest now." The old monster said, "How very fortunate. 2 disciples, adding you would make 3, and the horse would make 4. That would be enough for a meal." The imp said, "Let us go catch them." The old monster said, "Don't go out, just shut the front gates. The 2 of them are begging for vegetarian food. They must locate their master when they find a meal. If they can't find him, they will certainly look for him at my door. As the idiom goes, it's easier to do business that brings itself to your door. We shall patiently wait till we can catch them." And so the imps shut the front gate. We speak not of how Sanzang who encountered disaster, but instead go to Sha Monk who went out of the forest to search for Bajie. And indeed, for over 10 li, not a single village was about. So he went up and stood on a high spot to have a careful look. It appeared that someone was talking in the grass. He quickly used his staff to push aside the thick grass. It turned out to be the fool muttering in his sleep. Only when Sha Monk pulled on his ear did he finally wake up. Sha Monk said, "A fine fool you are. Master instructed you to beg for vegetarian food. When did he allow you to sleep here?" Waking up with a start, the fool asked, "Brother, how long has it been?" Sha Monk said, "Get up quickly now. Master said it didn't matter if there is vegetarian food. He wanted us to find lodging somewhere instead. Dazed and barely awake, the fool held the bowl and his rake as he returned with the Sha monk. When they got back inside the forest and looked around, their master was nowhere to be found. Sha monk complained, "It's all because you fool never returned from your search for food. Some monster spirit must have taken master." Ba Jie chuckled and said, "Don't spill nonsense, brother. This forest is one elegant destination. There can't be any monster spirit around. I bet the old monk couldn't stand sitting around, so he went somewhere for some sightseeing. Let's go look for him." The pair had no choice but pull the horse and carry the luggage after packing up the cape and staff. Coming out of the pine forest, they set out to search for their master. It so happened that the Tang monk did not mean to die there. The pair searched for a while to no avail before suddenly spotting golden light flashing straight from the south. Ba Jie said, "Oh, brother, the lucky has got luck. Look, master must have gone to that place. It's a bejeweled pagoda that's emitting light. Who would dare treat him with negligence? They will have to arrange a vegetarian meal before asking him to stay and enjoy it. We should really hurry up and head over there to catch some food." Sha monk said, "Oh, big brother, we can't determine whether that's a good sign or not. Let's go have a look first." Boldly, the two arrived before the door. Alas, it was shut. Installed horizontally above the door was a tablet made of white jade. It was engraved with 6 large characters. 万子山波月洞, meaning concave bow mountain, wavy moon cave. Sha monk said, "Oh, big brother, this is no temple. 'Tis the cave dwelling of a monster spirit. Even if our master is in here, we wouldn't be able to see him." Ba Jie said, "Don't be afraid, brother. Tie up the horse and look after the luggage for now. Let me go ask for information from them." The fool then wielded his rake, went up there and yelled, "Open the door, open the door." The imp guarding the cave entrance opened the door, saw what they looked like, and hurried back inside to report. "Great King, the business has arrived." The old master asked, "What sort of business?" The imp answered, "Outside the cave doors is a monk with a long snout and huge ears, accompanied by a monk with a gloomy complexion. They are calling for the door to be opened now." Thrilled, the old monster said, "It's Zhu Bajie and Sha monk here for the search. Ha! They really know how to search. How did they reach my door so soon? If they're the ferocious-looking type, we shouldn't be negligent." He then called, "Bring my armor." The imps carried his equipment over before the monster put them on tightly. Then, with the broadsword in hand, he came straight out the door. Ba Jie and Sha monk were just waiting outside when they saw the monster arriving menacingly. How was he dressed, you ask? Blue face, red mane, and a body full of golden armor. A belt made of clam with armor tied to his chest. Stirring up wind and wave wherever he goes, he holds a broadsword coming straight for your lives. If you ask for the name of this creature, it's 2 characters Huang Pao, meaning yellow robe. Old monster Yellow Robe came out the door and asked, "Where are you monks from? Why are you yelling at my door?" Ba Jie answered, "Dear son, don't you recognize that I am your father? I am sent by the Great Tang to head to the West Heaven. My master is royal younger brother Sanzang. If he's at your place, hurry up and send him out so I don't have to smash my way in with the rake." The monster laughed and said, Yes, there is a Tang monk at my place. I didn't withhold hospitality from him either. I arranged some buns with human flesh fillings for him to eat. Why don't you 2 go in and have one too?" The fool was seriously going to head inside when Sha monk seized him and said, "Oh, big brother, he is deceiving you. When did you get back to human flesh again?" The fool only then realized his mistake, so he raised his rake and swung it straight at the monster's face. The monster dodged sideways before wielding his steel broadsword to counter the attack. Both unleashed their divine powers and ascended into the clouds, fighting in midair. Sha monk also left behind the luggage and horse before raising his treasure staff to bring quick assistance. Now 2 fierce monks went against 1 vicious monster. On the clouds, it was one fine battle. 1 broadsword facing off staff and rake, 1 monster general taking on 2 divine monks. The rake and staff are certainly heroic weapons, but no attack could draw any fear from Yellow Robe. Look at his broadsword shining like silver. His magical powers could indeed deliver. The fight caused mist and clouds to lose their way in the skies, cliffs and ridges collapsing in the mountains. One side fought for his name, so how could he give up? The other fought for their master and were certainly fearless. The three fought in midair, going back and forth for dozens of rounds, but there was no victor. Each were hanging on to their lives, but it was one difficult fight to settle. We do not know how they will rescue the tongue monkey in the end. Please wait until the next chapter.